What is going on YouTube? Welcome back to JoJo Speaks. I am JoJo Speaks from Faithful Warrior Ministries. Thank y'all so much for joining me for this hour review for 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort, The Tell All Part 1. And I think today we saw why I'm glad there's only two parts because it really didn't get too much in this first part, which was entertaining for what it was. But hey, it is what it is. We're going to talk about it, you guys. I got my boy Dustin back with me. What's going on, Dustin? How you doing today?
I'm doing good. How you doing, Jonathan? I hope you're ready for.
I'm I,
Hope you're
I'm
ready. Hope you're ready for tonight.
I think I am, Dustin. I think I am. Some interesting information was revealed, alleged information that is, that was revealed
Mm,
at this tell-all. But we've got all the couples
right.
that are that are back. I don't think that we're missing anyone. I think all the couples did come
Uh,
back, including
uh,
Ari and Benny.
I
They're
could
back as well.
I
They
could do
have all
without
the
them too.
Right. Hey, Lady Virgo. I see Lady Virgo in the
Hello, Burger.
comments. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Lady Virgo. Thanks so much for being with us, girl. I can't wait to see what you're thinking from this tell all. A couple things I want you guys to do before we get started. Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big red subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to mash that thing. So go ahead and mash it. Also, be sure to give us a thumbs up. Let us know you're enjoying the content I'm putting out on my channel. Be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the first part of the tell all of the last day. 90 Day Fiance, The Last Resort. Excuse me. Make sure you press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. Last but not least, share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these
Mm,
YouTube streets. Quick announcement, I did release my review for RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 14. I released that earlier today. I was actually out in Atlanta this weekend, so that's why I didn't get it out to you guys sooner. But that is on my channel, JoJo Speaks. So make sure you guys check that video out, like it, comment on it as well. Let me know your thoughts on the final four. We've got Jules Sparks, we've got Sam Starr, we've got Anya Nerve, and we got Lexi Love. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know down in the comments. Check that video out for me, you guys. But we've got all the couples coming out. I have to really point out, I love what Benny is wearing. It looks like he's
me
wearing some
too.
type of tribal garb or something of that nature. It looks really fashionable. It looks really, really, really good. I love what Benny's wearing. Florian and Gino say hello to each other in the background, and Gino says he doesn't know if Matt's going to be there at the tell-all, which I'm hoping Matt is not there because he seems like a very centered,
I hope
very
not.
even keeled type of guy. And I don't want him to get caught in the crossfire of these other couples who will try to
But
chime in on
uh,
what their thoughts are concerning him being in relation with Jasmine. What were you going to say, Dustin?
I have a feeling that he's going to be there in the tell-all next episode. I have a funny feeling he's going to be there, even though I
Yeah,
don't want him there. I
yeah.
feel like he's going to be there because of Jasmine.
I was thinking the same, but at the same time, when they showed the preview for the next episode, they didn't make it seem as though he was going to be in the second part. So I'm assuming that he's not going to be there because they didn't
Uh,
even put him on camera. They didn't, have a lead up to Sean, actually introducing Matt into the conversation. So I'm assuming Matt's not there, and I'm hoping that Matt's not there because although I don't think he's an innocent party to this whole type of thing, I'm sort of kind of treating him like an innocent party because he's not Gino. He's
uh,
I feel as though he might be a better man. I don't know if he is a better man than Gino, but it makes it the way that he's presented himself to us makes it seem as though he is a better man than Gino. But Gino tells Florian that he hopes that Matt is not there, but if Matt is there, he's going to reveal some information concerning Jasmine to him, and he said that he's going to make Matt cry.
uh,
Gino, I really, really doubt your ability to make someone cry, besides the fact that you made Jasmine cry. Every single season we've seen you on 90 Day Fiance. However, so for you to say that you're going to make a man cry, Gino's putting 20 on 10. Gino really feels as though he's more of someone than he really is. And it's like, Gino, we see you for who you are or what you presented to us as who you are. But I'm not putting too much faith in Gino making a man cry, especially a man like Matt, who seems to be more of a man than Gino seems to be. I'm not saying that he is, but he seems to be more of a man or better of a man than Gino is. But hey, it is what it
mhm.
is. I'm sure Gino's going to get his tea, as some may say. I'm sure he's going to be able to reveal that tea, whether Matt's going to be there or not. But We have all the
I think he's gonna be shocked, Jonathan. I think he's gonna be shocked. I think we're all gonna be shocked because I go off of my way I feel, and I feel like we're gonna have a surprise in episode 2 of the tell all. I hope we're wrong, but I have a feeling that he's gonna be there. Hmm.
Dustin, when it comes to Gino, I have no expectations whatsoever. My expectations are absolutely the lowest that they can possibly be. I expect nothing from Gino, whatever Gino has planned. I'm sure in his mind, it might be a shocker. In his mind, it might be a bomb dropper. In his mind, it might be, a ratings booster. But we'll see when we get there. I'm sure whatever he has to say, I'm sure the audience will love it, but I'm
And
not putting too
am
much hope into that.
I am also excited to after part 2. I'm also excited to announce that we are going to do the regular 90 Day Fiance after this season is over because I'm so excited to start the new season and new
Yes.
couples. So I'm so excited to see that part as well.
And
Hmm.
I'm making it a point. I'm going to promise to you guys, and I'm going to promise to myself and Dustin that I'm going to start this particular season from the beginning. We're not going to start reviewing it from the beginning. We're going to start reviewing it from the newest episodes, but I want to be able to get as much context as I can out of these couples so that I'm not starting right in the middle as I've done in the past, where I'm off a little bit. So I'm going to make sure I have as much information as possible. But Sean Robinson comes here, comes to set. Jasmine is late. Jasmine is in the car. I feel as though they set this up because
On
Jasmine is
purpose. Hmm.
exactly on purpose.
Yes.
Because when it comes to these types of things, they make sure that the talent gets there on time. They all have drivers. They're all being driven to the set where they are filming the tell-all. So I'm sure that this was done on purpose so that Jasmine can have a grand entrance into the studio while they are in the middle of the tell-all, so that everyone can see that Jasmine is pregnant and Jasmine can make her announcement and all do all that good stuff. But
Yes.
Jasmine is on her way to
If
the
you want
show, and
If you want my opinion, Jonathan, I think they did it for ratings. I think they
absolutely.
I think they did that for ratings because they want the hottest tea in the tell-all, and that's nothing but the truth right there. I have been watching this show since a very long time, and they want everything for ratings. This network wants everything for ratings, so it really don't surprise me that they made her show up late.
Well,
Hmm.
I can't say for sure whether they were doing it for ratings. I don't think I could really say what a network is doing to, actually get ratings. However, I understand why they want to do that because it creates shock value for not only the cast, but also for the audience members who are watching who may not know that Jasmine is actually pregnant. So
Right. Mhm.
so yeah, we're talking to all the couples. Sean asked Benny and Ari, what is the status of you guys, getting a divorce because they revealed in the last resort that they were going
Mhm.
to no longer be married. They were not going to be together any longer. I didn't really understand what Benny's explanation was. It seems like they're not in a rush. Hey, Tammy's in the comments. Hey, girl, thank you so much for being
Tammy.
here. Let me get her comment and see exactly what she said. My girl Tammy is in the comments, y'all. Um, excuse me. So Tammy says down in the comments, he's not a better man. He has a married woman pregnant. Yeah, that I can agree. I can
I
agree
agree.
with that. But
I agree with that 110%,
and that's why I
Tammy.
say that Matt isn't innocent in this
Yeah.
whole thing, Tammy.
Mhm.
But I don't I can't say that I necessarily have a lot of respect for Gino in the way that he's presented himself in the
I
last
don't.
couple of seasons of 90 Day Fiance. So
I don't.
really, any man would be an
No.
upgrade from Gino, as far as I'm concerned. But that's just my personal humble opinion.
Uh,
I just don't. I've never seen it for Gino, and the way that he's treated Jasmine these last couple of seasons of 90 Day Fiance. I just never seen it for Gino.
well,
Any time that I see Jasmine being with another man, I'm just automatically going to assume, not a better man, but another man. I'm just automatically going to assume, just off of, that's just how I think.
good.
I'm just automatically going to assume that he's going to be better for Jasmine. I will say though that I don't think Jasmine went about it the right way. I think that she should have left Gino a long time ago. Um, and that would have alleviated all of the pushback that she's getting from all the other couples for her getting pregnant by a man that she's not married to. Tammy also says down in the comments, Jasmine is drama that fits her personality. Yes, I will admit that as well, Tammy. Jasmine is a drama queen, and she's perfect for a show like 90 Day Fiance because she's so dramatic and she takes everything to the nth degree. And that's why it really confused me that she ended up with Gino, because Gino seems to be the complete opposite. Although many do say opposites do attract, I just they just didn't seem like a natural couple to me.
Well, I can say some opposites do attract, but I don't see what Jasmine is seeing in Gino, because I don't see it, and I don't think that Jonathan sees it either. So, Jonathan, you can correct me if you do. Do you see it? I don't see it. So,
I never saw what Jasmine saw in Gino. I was, I almost wanted to upchuck my lunch when I saw her put his toes in her mouth a couple of seasons ago. Lemire says down in the comments, "Hey everyone, I hope y'all are doing well this evening. Thank you so much for being here, Lemire. I love you for watching. I love all of you for watching." Tammy down in the comments, "Love you, girl, for being here." Lady Virgo, "Love you, girl, for being here." Thank you all so much for being here, you guys. And so Benny really doesn't give a direct answer to his plans to divorcing Ari. I guess it's going to kind of, be left up in the air. If they don't want to, rush into getting a divorce, the divorce is a very long, arduous process. It takes a long time for divorces to actually go through. There are mediations involved. There are lawyers involved. There's court involved. There's a whole lot that goes into getting a divorce. And so if Benny and Ari are not in a rush to getting divorced and they're okay with the way that their partnership, I don't want to say relationship, although they are connected by their son, if this is the way that they want to do their thing, then so be it. As long as no one's getting hurt in the process, I'm good with it going the way that it's going. Florian and Stacy. Stacy says that once they got back home, Florian was kind of going back to his old ways and not exactly sure what she meant by that. Stacy is a little bit of a drama queen as well, and then we saw when her sister came in for part 2, she came in this beautiful black gown, wanted to show out in front of everybody. Like those two, Stacy and her twin sister, they're
Darcy.
Darcy. Thank you so much for that, Dustin, because I totally forgot her name. Darcy, they are quite a bit, but hey, they want to be on TV to show off. So they
take things to the next level.
Right, exactly. Brandon and Julia seem to be doing sort of kind of okay. We'll get to their segment a little bit later. And so then Jasmine makes her entrance into the studio, and everybody is shocked to see that Jasmine is pregnant. And I can't remember if it was before Jasmine got there or after. I think it was before Jasmine got there. Sean asked Gino if he and Jasmine were still together, and he revealed that they are no longer together, or they are currently separated. I think this is for the best for Jasmine and Gino. I'm not exactly sure who initiated this separation. I'm only going to assume that it was Gino, because I really don't see Jasmine leaving Gino for any reason whatsoever, given all the things that he's done against her. Amir says down in the comments, "I love Dustin's laugh. It's contagious." It is contagious, Dustin. I love it when you laugh as well. It's so cute.
Thank you, Jonathan.
but yeah, it's Gino does reveal to everyone that he and Jasmine are no longer together, and so Jasmine comes onto the set. Jasmine is clearly pregnant. Everyone is shocked. It seems like the ladies are excited. And also, I wanted to mention that in most of the tell-all, and every other tell-all that I've seen, they've all had the couples sitting together at the tell-alls. But in this particular tell-all, Sean said at the beginning that it seemed like the women have kind of grouped together and become friends, and the men have kind of grouped together and become friends. So they've got the men on the right side of the stage, and then they've got the women on the left side of the stage. I'm not exactly sure how I feel about that arrangement. I think it's a little bit weird.
I like it.
But I think when the women are going to, I know the women are probably going to support one another and kind of rally around each other. So I think that'll make it easier for them to be able to comfort one another in those times. And so I guess that, there's really nothing wrong with where everyone's sitting. But Jasmine comes in, everyone's shocked that she's pregnant. Gino has already stated to everyone that that Jasmine and Gino are no longer together. So
Uh,
Sean says, I think she asked Gino if he's the father of Jasmine's baby, and Gino says no.
no.
And so then Sean throws the question back to Jasmine. Well, I can only assume that Matt is the father of your child, and Jasmine then confirms that Matt is the father of her
Mhm.
child. Does this surprise me? No, not at all.
Uh,
It does go against the rule that Gino set during the last resort. He said that
mhm.
that both Jasmine and Matt must have protected intercourse, that they cannot
Uh,
have unprotected intercourse, and apparently somewhere along the line, I don't know if it was before Jasmine and Gino separated or after Jasmine and Gino and separated, because they filmed this a year ago. So there
yeah.
could have been a lot of time in
They
between.
filmed it in 2024. Hmm.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So
Right.
there's the waters are a little bit muddy. There's not an understanding as to where Jasmine and Gino's relationship ended and where Jasmine and Matt's intercourse became unprotected. I don't know the
Right.
specifics around that. However,
Mhm.
Sean then asked Florian and Rob what their opinions are on the fact that Jasmine is pregnant by this third man, by well, not third man,
Uh,
by this other man, Matt. Real quick, a comment down here by Lady Virgo. Lady Virgo says, "Tammy, hey, I'm so glad I finally see meet someone who agrees about Jasmine. I agree she is drama and the problem as well. I'm
right.
not exactly sure if she's the problem. She can be problematic. I will admit to that. Jasmine can be problematic because a lot of times she will put 20 on 10 on a lot of things. She will over exaggerate on many things that she would say,
Right.
or over exaggerate as far as her reaction to certain things that happen to her and Gino.
Mhm.
So I will admit to that. Jasmine is a drama queen. I mean, I'm
Yes,
sure
she
she wears
is.
that crown proudly. And
Mhm.
so Florian and Rob are asked by Sean, because they were telling Gino not to agree to this open marriage.
Mhm.
They have their comments. I'm not exactly sure if I remember Florian saying anything, but I do remember Rob saying he
I do
feels
remember
like this
Florian
was a
saying something.
yeah.
I don't
He
remember
said
what it was though.
yeah, I don't remember either. But Rob says that he feels as though Jasmine had a plan from the beginning
Mhm.
to be with Matt and allow this to open the door to allow her to be with Matt in a way that she wouldn't be looked at as a cheater. And
Mhm.
then Jasmine then replies and says, I really don't care about what Rob has to say. I don't have to answer to Rob. And then Rob retorts with, and then Rob responds in like a Hispanic accent. And that to me is so problematic, Rob. Like Rob disappointed me so much in this tell all. When first
Mhm.
of all, he's going to reply to Jasmine in this like Hispanic lingo type of deal, which is like so disrespectful to me. And then he calls Jasmine a pregnant whore.
Well,
And
that's disrespectful. Mhm.
is so disrespectful. And that's when
That
Jasmine gets up, she takes off her shoe and she throws her shoe at Rob. And total mayhem ensues. And Dustin, what was your reaction to the way that Rob is calling out Jasmine for her actions concerning her relationship with Matt?
well, I don't like that, Jonathan, whatsoever. I don't like that because you're not no longer with your person. You're not no longer with Sophia either. So you shouldn't have to be telling somebody else about how to live their life. If you are no longer together with your person, you are no longer together with Sophia. You don't need to be telling Jasmine how to live her life, and that does not sit right with me at all. And I don't want to see Rob. I do not want to see Rob back on 90 Day Fiance. Period. Point blank, Jonathan. I don't want to see him back at all. I do like Rob. Don't get me wrong, but this is really hit a nerve for me, Jonathan. I would never expected to see him like this, and for him to uh, call her a whore on national TV, and everybody going to see it like that. No, thank you. I've seen it on HBO Max, and I don't need to see it again. I can't wait to get the tell all over with to move on to the next season because I don't want to see him again, and that's just the truth. Mm-hmm.
Tammy says down in the comments, yes, she did. She had a plan. Now, was it a plan? Sure, it was. Yes, I would agree. Jasmine did have a plan. And I think Jasmine had a plan to be able to have intercourse with someone who would be willing to give her intercourse since Gino had refused to give her intercourse. So did she have a plan? Yes. Go ahead, Dustin.
Can I have one more thing in here?
Go ahead.
Son Robinson shouldn't have to get out of her chair to break it the fight up on the tell-all. There's rules on the tell-all. You have to follow the rules, or you're going to get kicked out. And I don't want to say I want to see him get kicked out of the tell-all because that was downright disrespectful. She shouldn't have had to get out of her chair to do her show. That was her show, and that's her job. You guys have a right to follow the rules, or you get kicked out.
To be honest, I was surprised that Sean got up to begin with because Sean really, to me, Sean is like she's a host, but it seems like she doesn't have control over any of these tell-alls whatsoever. I wish she would do have a little bit more control over what's going on. I think she kind of lets people talk as much as they want to talk, and then once they stop talking, then she asks the next question. But yeah, that was surprising to me that Sean actually got up because I'd sit back and let security handle it. But it is what it is. But I do agree with you, Tammy. I do think Jasmine had a plan, but I feel like Jasmine felt as though in Jasmine's mind, because Jasmine feels as though she doesn't want to leave Gino, that she has to find a way to be able to be satisfied sexually. Right. Now, should Jasmine have left Gino a long time ago? Absolutely. Yes. Jasmine should not have been with Gino to begin with. And she should not have even married the man. But I think Jasmine was trying to figure out the best way to be happy for herself while still being married to Gino. And that's not the right way to do it at all. If you're not happy in your marriage, in the marriage, point blank, period. I mean, and of course, it's easier said than done. But you have to think about your future, and you have to think about your personal peace and your personal energy, and you have to protect that. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, JoJo speaks. JoJo, we already know you love you some Jasmine. You go hard for her, JoJo. I do. And here's the thing, although I do go hard for her, I can still point out where Jasmine goes wrong because, like I said, Jasmine should have left Gino a long time ago. But I think Jasmine is amazing for this show. She's perfect for the show. She brings great drama to the show. I would love to see her on another season, maybe with another man. I don't know. Are
you kidding me?
I love Jasmine. I'm sorry, Dustin. I just love her.
I don't want to see her again.
And I would want to see her in a healthy relationship. But when it comes to 90 Day Fiance, it seems like there's no such thing as a healthy relationship. Although I will say we have seen some healthy relationships on 90 Day Fiance. But excuse me. But then Jasmine then responds to Rob and alleges that Rob has been selling pictures of his hind parts or his posterior and his thing back there and using plugs back there and different things like that in a gay nature and this was shocking to me. I won't say it was surprising to me, but it was shocking to me because it's I see Rob as a heterosexual man. He hasn't presented himself as anything but a heterosexual man. However, there is such a thing as gay for pay or things of that nature where heterosexual men will do homosexual type things on the internet in order to garner the gay dollar because they know that gay men will pay to see straight men in particular do certain things with their bodies, and they want to see that. You know what I'm saying? And so if Rob were to do this, I did my research, y'all. I went onto the Googles and searched to see if I could find this stuff, and I was not able to find anything. Now I only searched for about maybe 5 to 10 minutes, so maybe I didn't do as deep of a dive as I should have for research purposes. However, It was shocking to me that Rob felt so free to say this when he knows that Jasmine, if she has information on someone that could hinder their story, that can hinder the way that they're seen on TV. I'm really surprised that Rob went as hard as he did on Jasmine. But then Rob goes backstage and he tells the camera that he has a friend that has done those types of things that Jasmine was alleging that Rob had been doing, and his friend had made a lot of money off of it. The gay dollar is the gay dollar. I mean, the gay men will pay to see those types of things. So, that there is that. And so Rob did say that he did some content with this man. Now, I don't know what exactly that means. He didn't go into particular detail, but it sounds as if there may be some truth to what Jasmine was alleging that Rob had done for money. Once again, we don't know the I don't know the full extent of it, but did that surprise you, Dustin, to hear Jasmine saying that?
It surprised me because I didn't expect it. Now I
Me
didn't
either.
see I didn't see any proof, but I'm gonna go ahead and say this. It wouldn't
Because I want to
surprise
see
me.
the proof, honey. Okay.
I want to see the proof, but I wouldn't surprise me if he did. I'm not saying he did do that, but I just wouldn't surprise me if he did. But I want to see the proof, and I think Jonathan wants to see the proof as well. So me and Jonathan are on the same page as well. And if you ever find the proof, send it to me, Jonathan.
I will. Dustin, you were going to ask me a question. What were you going to ask me?
Oh, I was going to ask you about something. I forgot about that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It seemed
I
like you
forgot
were going
about.
to ask me something before I threw it over to you. But
Yeah, it's okay.
yeah, so I'm just gonna put this out there, Rob. You know what I'm saying? If you wanted to do that, Rob would make a lot of money. And then he also said that he didn't say a majority of his followers, but he did say that a lot of his followers on Instagram are homosexual. So Rob understands that the people who follow him are mostly men. And we gay men, we do follow a lot of attractive men on Instagram. I mean, men like eye candy. Men are are aroused by what we see. Whereas women, I feel I can't speak for women, but I feel like with women it's not necessarily like that. Whereas men, we're more visual creatures, whereas women are more of a feeling type of thing.
I forgot. I remember I remember what I was gonna ask you, Jonathan. So do you think the Jasmine would come back on TV for another season with somebody else? Because it sounds like you think she's gonna come back. I don't think she's gonna come back though. But if you do, tell me.
I wouldn't expect her to come back. However, it would not surprise me if she came back with Matt, because I'm sure the producers will want to follow that story and see where Jasmine and Matt's relationship goes from here, and to also see the ending of Jasmine's relationship with Gino. Lady Virgo says down in the comments, the way JoJo can keep the messy topics so clean and eloquent, JoJo be on eggshells. Girl, with these YouTube guidelines, I have to keep it clean, girl. I have to keep it clean, because if I wanted to say what I wanted to say, I'd say what I wanted to say, girl. But I can't put it out there like that, okay? But because girl, like I should give me a Patreon so I can just talk recklessly. But that's not the platform for that. But thank you for noticing, Lady Virgo. I appreciate that, girl. I do my best. But I just have to say that I'm so extremely disappointed in Rob for going so hard on Jasmine, because it didn't even seem like he was that close to Gino. But as I said in my previous review, Rob seems to be one of those bros before hoes types of dudes, and so I guess he's always going to take the side of the man in the situation. So I guess I should not be surprised by that. But anyways, we then move on to Brandon and Julia, and then Brandon's parents come on to the tell-all. They're on a cruise. Now they've got some alcoholic. Well, I won't say alcoholic because they didn't specify whether they were alcoholic beverages or not. But they've got some drinks in their hands. They're on a cruise, and they run back back to a time where Julia was dancing out at a club while all the couples were out during the retreat. And Brandon did not like the way that Julia was dancing. He didn't like the way that she was dressed. I guess she had I can't remember what she was wearing, but I'm assuming she had on a skirt. And people were saying that her lady parts were showing and things of that nature. And Brandon told Julia she looked like a whore. And this whore word is being thrown around so much. I don't like that whore word
I
at
don't like
all.
that. I don't like the word. I don't like that word.
It's so demeaning and so disrespectful, and people use it too loosely. But anyways, Brandon does apologize to Julia for calling her out about that. Sean asked Julia and Brandon, what is the process for? Are they still in the process of getting Julia's parents over to America to have a visa to visit America? Brandon says that he feels as though Julia is doing things to make her happy and not necessarily considering him and the decisions that she's making.
And I have to agree with that, Jonathan.
Why do you say that?
I have to agree with that because I don't think that she's. I think that she's. I don't think that she's really. I think she's doing what she wants to do for getting her family over here, and I understand that part. But I don't think that I don't think she quite understands where he's coming from with this situation. I do feel like she doesn't quite understand the whole situation and the period, and I don't know how to explain it to you, but I just don't think she understands it fully.
I think during the season, I was putting so much more on Brandon not understanding where Julia was coming from. But I think Julia has that same issue. I think they have issues with seeing each other's points of views and where each other stands on certain topics. Mamir says down in the comments, JoJo has a way of saying how he feels without being offensive. He could be in politics if he wasn't such a good guy, that is. Thank you so much for that, Mamir. I appreciate that. I'm not built for politics. I like to operate in the real, as Jennifer would say, and politics seems to be all fake to me, and I can't deal with those types of people. I cannot be nobody's Jasmine Crockett. I applaud Jasmine Crockett for what she does, Maxine Waters, and all of those great women and men of color that are in politics, but I could never see myself in that type of position. But thank you for pointing that out. I appreciate it.
And I could never. I'm on the same thing with Jonathan. I could never do politics myself. I see what goes on in this politics and stuff. I don't want to do that. I could never do politics, Jonathan. So you and I are on the same page with that one. So I could never do politics, and I don't want to do politics because that's too stressful for me.
but back to Brandon and Julia and Brandon's parents say that Julia might owe Brandon an apology. I can't remember exactly what they said that she would owe Brandon an apology for. But I don't know if I like Brandon's parents being involved in this conversation, because that seems to be one of the issues that Brandon and Julia have, is that Brandon's parents have too much of a say-so in the decisions that are being made in the relationship. And when you have outside sources or third parties that have integral say-so in what goes on in your relationship, then it's not your relationship anymore. They're involved in the relationship as well. And that could muddy the waters a little bit and cause miscommunication here or there when you're telling your parents something and you're not telling your partner something, and you're thinking that you told your partner something when you really haven't. It's like, things get misconstrued that way. And so
I think he's too much of a mama's boy, Jonathan. And I don't mean to say that too. That's what I mean. I think that he's too much of a mama's boy for that situation. I think that he allows his mom being involved in it too much. That's just my opinion.
Hey, real recognize real. I'm a mama's boy myself. I can gladly say that. I've been a mama's boy ever since I came out of my mother's womb. Like I've been stuck to my mother like glue all of my life. And that's why it's easier for me to see that Brandon seems to be in that same position. He seems to be extremely close to his parents, which is understandable and respectable. However, there's a certain way, and I love it when Judge Judy confronts these parents who get involved into their kids' relationships. It's like, you got to stay out of it. Like
sometimes you just gotta let go, Jonathan. And I just think that they just need to let him live his life and let him be with Julia. in order to continue to grow this relationship or to heal this relationship. And I think that she's getting too involved in his own relationship
Right.
with
And
mother.
so
Mhm.
then Julia, they show some never before seen footage of Julia speaking. I can't remember if it was Stacy or if it was Sophie. She
It
was
was
saying,
Sophia.
okay, it
Sophia.
was Sophia. Thank you so much for that. She was saying to Sophie that while she was, I think she said she was bartending or
Bartending, yeah. Hmm.
yeah, she
Bartending.
said she was bartending and something happened with another man, or something happened. Yeah, she said something happened with another man, but she's not going to reveal it on camera. And she told Sean that she never told Sophie what it was. And then Sean, asked her straight out, well, what was it that happened with this other man? And that's where the show turned off. Tammy, if
Mm.
you're still here, I would love to know what your reaction was to Rob calling Jasmine a pregnant whore. I'm not exactly sure what you felt about that. However, I do understand your feelings towards Jasmine. Jasmine did this all wrong. Like I agree
Mhm.
with that. Like Jasmine did this all wrong. She should have gone about it the right way, and the right way being just leaving Gino and moving forward from there. But once again, I'm thinking maybe Jasmine stayed with Gino because she wanted to keep her visa or green card, whatever it is that the case might
I
have
think
been.
so too.
And I think that might be the reason why she initially got with Gino. Maybe she thought
Yeah.
it would be easier with Gino. Who knows? I'm not sure exactly what Jasmine's intent was, but hey, it is what it is. But we will see what happens on part 2 of the tell all. I'm
Yeah.
glad that this is only 2 parts. And it seems as though because we didn't get through too much of anything in this first part, that
Mm.
everything is going to be, going to be gone through in the
And then
second
part
part
two.
of this tell
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
So, Dustin, why don't you go ahead and give us your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts is Dustin Butler, and my Facebook, my Instagram is Dustin Butler 700. I want to thank Jonathan for always being there as always for me, and my whole entire team. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Dustin. Once again, make sure you guys check out my RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 14 review. That is on my channel, JoJo Speaks. Make sure y'all check that out. You guys can follow me on Instagram. My Instagram is JoJo_Speaks 3020. My Facebook is Jonathan Lee. My email is WilliamJonathanLee@gmail.com. My Cash App is $Jonathan Lee 07. That's $JonathAnlee07. That is JonathAnlee07. Thank y'all so much for joining me. Thank y'all so much for being down there in the comments. I love the camaraderie that we have here. We're all family. I love you guys for watching so much. Tammy, Mamir, Lady Virgo, thank y'all so much for joining us. I love y'all. I love y'all so much for watching. I appreciate your presence here in the comments. I really do. So make sure you guys join me on Thursday for my live show of Hot Topics and Social Commentary. Also, check me out on Saturday morning with Faithful Warrior Ministries at 10-ish a.m. for our fellowship and prayer. Make sure you guys also join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces. Until then, we'll say bye for now, y'all.
For
Y'all have a
part two.
wonderful week. And I love you guys for watching. Peace out, you guys. Take
Peace
care.
out. See you next week.
Bye, guys.